1970s was a transformative decade for British society, marked by social, economic, and cultural shifts. Against this backdrop, social documentary photography emerged as a powerful medium to capture and reflect the experiences of ordinary people and their changing environments. This period is often regarded as a golden age of British social documentary photography, as it gave rise to a generation of photographers who used their lenses to tell stories of the marginalized, the working class, and the overlooked aspects of daily life. Historical context. The 1970s in Britain were characterized by economic decline, industrial unrest, and social upheaval. The country faced high unemployment, strikes, and the decline of traditional industries like coal mining and manufacturing. At the same time, racial tensions grew as immigration from former British colonies increased, leading to a multicultural but often conflicted social fabric. These changes provided fertile ground for photographers to document the struggles and resilience of communities. Social documentary photography in Britain during this era was heavily influenced by the broader documentary tradition of the early 20th century. Photographers like Walker Evans and Dorothea Lange in the United States had demonstrated the power of photography to reveal the human condition, particularly during the Great Depression. British photographers of the 1970s adopted a similar approach, but focused on the specific challenges and nuances of life in Britain. Key themes and subjects: urban decline and industrial change. Many photographers focused on the decline of Britain's industrial heartlands. Cities like Liverpool, Manchester, and Glasgow, once thriving centers of industry, were grappling with deindustrialization and urban decay. Photographers documented the derelict factories, crumbling housing estates, and the lives of those affected by these changes. For example, Nick Hedges captured the harsh living conditions of working-class families in his work for Shelter, a housing charity. His intimate black and white images highlighted the human cost of poor housing policies. Working-class life. A recurring theme was the celebration and documentation of working-class life. Photographers like Chris Killip and Martin Parr captured the dignity, resilience, and humor of working-class communities, often in the face of adversity. Killip's work in the northeast of England, for instance, depicted fishermen, miners, and their families, offering a poignant look at lives shaped by economic hardship. Youth and subcultures. The 1970s saw the rise of distinctive youth subcultures, including punk, mods, and skinheads. These subcultures were not just fashion statements, but also forms of rebellion against societal norms. Photographers like Derek Ridgers and Jeanette Beckman documented these movements, providing a visual record of their energy and defiance. These images often revealed the interplay between personal identity and broader societal issues. Immigration and multiculturalism. As Britain became more ethnically diverse, photographers turned their attention to immigrant communities and their experiences. Charlie Phillips, for example, documented the lives of Black Caribbean communities in London, capturing moments of joy, struggle, and everyday life. These photographs offered an alternative narrative to the often negative portrayal of immigrants in mainstream media. Political activism and protest. The 1970s was a decade of political activism, with movements advocating for women's rights, racial equality, and workers' rights. Social documentary photographers were on the front lines, capturing protests, strikes, and rallies. Their work not only documented these events, but also became part of the struggle, raising awareness and rallying support. Aesthetic and technical evolution. The aesthetics of 1970s British social documentary photography were rooted in realism. Photographers used black and white film to emphasize stark contrasts and focus on the subject matter, without the distraction of color. The compositions were often intimate, with a focus on people and their environments. Many photographers adopted a participatory approach, spending time with the communities they documented to build trust and gain deeper insights. The use of small, portable cameras like the Leica and later the Nikon F series allowed photographers to capture candid moments with ease. This technological advancement contributed to the immediacy and authenticity of their work. Legacy and influence. The work of 1970s British social documentary photographers has had a lasting impact on the field of photography and beyond. Their images continue to serve as historical records of a transformative period in British society. They have influenced subsequent generations of photographers and are often referenced in discussions about the role of photography in social change. Exhibitions and publications have ensured that this body of work remains accessible and relevant. Institutions like the Victoria and Albert Museum and the Photographers Gallery in London have celebrated the contributions of these photographers, while contemporary photographers draw inspiration from their approach to storytelling. In conclusion, the 1970s was a pivotal decade for British social documentary photography. Through their unflinching and empathetic lenses, photographers of this era captured the complexities of a society in flux, providing us with a visual legacy that continues to resonate today.